Covergirl has revamped their now discontinued Queen Collection bronzers. New name, new collection, but they're permanent for summer 2019. The new bronzers are called Full Spectrum Sculpt Expert Bronzer. Again, 3 shades, and they, I would say, closely match up to the ones that were discontinued through the Queen Collection. Now, Covergirl did send me all 3 of the bronzers. They just showed up at my home here. This is not a paid video. They did not pay me to review this. It's not paid placement. It's not sponsored. This is me just trying out the bronzers, and I want to share my experience with you, as well provide some feedback to the brand as well if they see this video. New bronzers are also mineral based, just like the Queen Collection bronzers were. These are meant to give you that radiant glow, so there is an addition of shimmer within each shade range here. But with the addition of the word sculpt in the title, these bronzers now are going to give you that double duty. So if you want to use the bronzers to actually contour with and hollow out, areas in your face, you're welcome to do that. There are users who still do that. They just don't have the time, they just don't have the patience, they don't care to, they don't care. So if you want to use it as a contour powder, you can, and you can again use it as a overall bronzer. I'm going to first show you the swatches of all 3 shades. I also swatched them here on my palm, which is what I would consider that medium light skin tone. In the event you are someone that has fair skin, my Caucasian viewers that watch me, that will give you an indication of what the shade will look like. But also what I like to put it on my palm is it will actually show you undertones as well. So you can see a little bit more within the formula versus if you just see it on my medium dark skin. First up is number 100, which is Sunlight. Sunlight is the lightest shade here in the collection. This is what I would consider a light golden shade. And if you wanted to go up against the Queen Collection bronzer, this would match up perfectly to the shade in light bronze. Second bronzer, 110 Warmth. So just going down a little bit darker in the golden brown category. So it's a medium golden tone bronzer. This would match up to the discontinued Queen bronzer in the shade Brown Bronze. Last bronzer is number 120 Ebony. It's actually named the same as the discontinued Queen bronzer, which was called Evany Bronze. This is that deep, rich, red, russet shade. Very flattering, especially for deep, rich skin tones. You want a stronger contrast as a bronzer or a contour powder, use a denser brush. So you saw that in the video, even for the deep shade here. You saw how strong this one was, the Ebony, with that dense brush. That was quite intense on me. So how I'm going to be using this shade moving forward will be with more of a softer, a fluffier brush. I still will get that overall effect that I'm looking for, but it won't be obviously as strong on my skin tone as it would with somebody with much richer skin. Now I'm going to show you what bronzers I have in my other brands in my collection that I feel closely match up to the full spectrum ones. So just shade wise, they should be able to assist you. Now we are going to start with Physicians Formula. I already did dedicated reviews as far as swatches for these bronzers. So make sure you take a look at the link in the info box if you want to see these up close as far as the swatches. But for 100 Sunlight, I feel that the closest one within the Butter bronzer family is going to be the bronzer in the shade Deep. So if you're looking at the Butter formula, those bronzers, actual shade selections as they expanded the shade ranges, Deep I feel matches up the closest with Sunlight. Now Sunlight from CoverGirl is slightly deeper, has more of a golden tone to it, but the effect of it and it being so subtle and so light on the skin, this is the one I feel would closely resemble it. If you also have fair skin and you use the Deep shade already to give you a stronger contrast and you're interested in this shade, again, Sunlight would match up the best. Also keep in mind the difference. Physicians Formula's formula is pure matte, no shimmer at all. And keep in mind again, the CoverGirl will have that shimmer particles in it. So if you're someone that prefers a matte bronzer, the full spectrum bronzers, these aren't going to be for you because there is noticeable shimmer on it. Depending on what brush you use, the denser the brush, the more shimmer you're going to see on your face. The fluffier, the softer the brush is, it's going to start to disperse the shimmer throughout on your skin, so you won't have as much. Now moving on to the second one in the collection for 110, which is Warmth for CoverGirl. The one that I feel is the closest, again, it's Physicians Formula, it just happens to be like that. It's the Sunset Bronzer. So that's the one I feel is the closest match up. Now again, matte, shimmer, a little bit more golden, deeper, but I mean neck and neck. It's going to give you that same effect. So Sunset and again, Warmth. Also keep in mind, if you do currently have the CoverGirl Queen Collection bronzers, you already have them, the numbers will correlate like that for this full spectrum. So the light brown one, I think it's called Light Bronze, that is for the 100 Sunlight. If you have the Warmth, the CoverGirl Queen one that is brown bronze would match up. And the one that's very easy to remember is the third one that I'm about to show you, the Ebony. So the Queen Collection discontinued shade is also called Evany Bronze. Neck and neck, the shade is the same. I feel it's the same. And the same with the shimmer particles in this one too. Very deep, very rich. Here's where I have two to show you. Now I am going to show you the Benefit one first in Toasted, which is the one I have. Now Toasted again is matte. The Benefit one is matte, so keep that in mind if you want one matte and one shimmer. But the Benefit Toasted is just slightly lighter than the CoverGirl. And it doesn't have that strong of a red base as the CoverGirl has. So just keep that in mind. That will go by your preference. Which one do you want? Matte, more red here, less red there, more brown. You know, you get the idea. The one that I feel that is the percentage starts to go up, we're looking like 90% and over, is going to be the Fenty bronzer. So the darkest one that I have in the Stalk'r bronzer in Mocha MAMI. This is the one where the tones are neck and neck. Fenty's is matte. Again, the shimmer, I'm reiterating that because the reviews that I've seen on Amazon is stating, oh, this is matte. The one from CoverGirl is matte. No, it's not. There's noticeable shimmer, so just keep that in mind. Mocha MAMI, neck and neck. And again, the discontinued Queen, Ebony Bronze, you already know that this is just the permanent new edition right there. So those are the ones that I would suggest if you have those in your existing collection. You maybe are thinking, I want to check out the full spectrum ones. Those would be the shades I would feel would closely match up, and you kind of would know how it would look on your skin. I'm going to close it out with just a few suggestions that I have for the brand here. And what I feel is missing from the bronzer shades here is I understand that the Queen Collection bronzers only had 3. So we have it revamped and we have 3 again. But when you're looking at Warmth and Sunlight, so this one is Warmth and this one is Sunlight, there's shades missing when you add the darkest one to it. These two shades are so closely matched in appearance and so subtle on the skin where it doesn't make that much of a difference. That's my opinion. They're just so close together. So I would have liked to have seen one that is You can keep it a gold tone, but I would like to have seen one that is also what I would consider, I don't have the butter one here, but it's the butter bronzer in Sculpting from Physicians Formula. That one is more of a neutral tone bronzer. That one doesn't have the gold in it, but it's also not a strong brown, and it doesn't have any red. So that one was that perfect one where I would consider would have satisfied those consumers that they don't want red and they don't want a golden one. They just want a little bit of warmth, and that shade would have offered that, just staying within that more of that neutral brown category. I feel that that is missing because, again, in this collection, these two shades are just too close. And then second is just a personal preference here because not everybody likes shimmer in their bronzer. I'm very picky when it comes to shimmer in my bronzer because I don't want something where it's so noticeable on the cheekbones and on the, the points where the skin is going to be all warm and the sun's going to hit, where there's all this shimmer. Because I have highlighter on, I might have on a shimmer blush, I feel like my whole face is just glowing like that. So I do like to work with matte bronzers and kind of add in that shimmer where I want. Or like, hey, I would like to actually see more of a drugstore version of what I would consider like a Guerlain bronzer, where the shimmer is so fine and it's just one with the skin. It's as if the skin is just radiant. If we had a drugstore version of a Guerlain bronzer, Guerlain is that luxury bronzer, they know what they're doing, that would set you apart. That would set you apart. Give an affordable, lit from within bronzer that just the shimmer is just, like I said, one with the skin. That I feel is missing from the industry. I would have liked to have seen that. I would love to know your feedback in the comments. Leave them down. Leave your suggestions. Leave your comments. Let the brand see. Let your voice be heard. They see the videos and they're watching. So if you have something to say, leave it down in the comments. With that, I am done. Thank you very much for stopping by and watching, seeing the new swatches, new product out from Covergirl, Full Spectrum Sculpt Expert Bronzer for summer 2019. Again, leave comments, like the video, share it, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell, and I'd love to see you back here. Have a wonderful day or evening, and as always, I'm going to see you in the next video. Goodbye, everyone. Now the mouse is acting now, I swear. It's not meant for me to film today, but I am. Where is that? Oh, it's under difference. Here comes that neighbor with you always. The motorcycle. Always. Now discontinued. What were the bronzers' names? I miss it. Oh my God, I gotta get my son in like very fast. Okay, I gotta get fast. Before I pressed play, the battery to the microphone conked, so I'm using Stone Age battery with camera, and the tripod snapped as well, but I'm not refilming this video, so I'm just gonna keep it moving. That's what happens behind the scenes.